Today, we're going to dive into a pretty provocative way of looking at wealth. It's a philosophy that basically claims most of what we're taught about money isn't just a little off, it's a system designed to keep us financially stuck. So let's unpack these 15 things that the wealthy supposedly ignore and see what's really going on.
All right, let's start with a simple choice. Imagine I'm holding two things out to you: a fresh, crisp $10 bill and an old, kind of dusty silver half-dollar from 1964. Which one do you grab? I mean, most people would snatch the $10, right? It's got 20 times the face value. But is it actually the smarter choice?
Well, according to this philosophy, if you took that $10 bill, you just fell right into the trap. That bill is considered fake money. It's just currency that can be printed over and over again. But that silver coin, that's a real, tangible asset. It has actual intrinsic value. And that difference between real assets and just plain old currency is the key to understanding everything else we're about to talk about.
And that brings us right to our first big idea, the liability loop. This is where we start identifying all the common things people buy that this philosophy says are just draining your wealth, even when they seem totally normal, even responsible.
So what exactly is a liability in this world? It's actually really simple. It's not some complicated accounting term. It's just a cash flow test. Does this thing consistently take money out of your pocket? If the answer is yes, then guess what? It's a liability. End of story.
And here are some of the usual suspects. A few are pretty obvious, right? Like high-interest credit card debt. But some of these are, well, they're designed to make you think, like the very home you live in. This way of thinking even calls things like fast food a liability, because it argues that it drains your most important resource of all, your energy.
And this, right here, is probably the most controversial part. It's a direct shot at the American dream. We're all told that our house is our biggest asset. But this view says, nope, think again. Because your personal home is always costing you money. Property taxes, insurance, repairs, you name it. It's constantly pulling cash out of your pocket. By definition, that makes it a liability.
So if a liability takes money out, a true asset does the exact opposite. It's anything that puts money into your pocket. It generates income for you, even when you're sleeping. It literally works for you.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Instead of your personal home, imagine an apartment building where every month tenants are putting money in your pocket. Instead of a new car that loses half its value in a few years, picture a rare classic car that's actually worth more every year. The goal is always the same: get things that create a positive cash flow.
Okay, but this whole philosophy, it goes way deeper than just what you buy and don't buy. It starts to critique the very systems we're all taught to trust: our money, our schools, and even our retirement plans.
At the very center of this whole critique is the idea of fake money. This philosophy points to one specific year, 1971. That's when the US dollar was completely disconnected from gold. And from that moment on, the argument goes, the dollar stopped being real money and just became a form of currency. Basically an IOU from the government that loses value every single time they print more of it.
And that kind of thinking leads to what might be the most jarring statement of all: savers are losers. Think about it. If the cash in your savings account is literally designed to buy less and less every year because of inflation, then just letting it sit there, well, you're playing a losing game. It's the complete opposite of what our grandparents told us, right? A penny saved is a penny earned. Not in this world.
Next, the critique turns to our education system. The traditional path is called the PhD trap: poor, helpless, and desperate. The argument is that it trains us to be good employees, totally dependent on a paycheck. The alternative: real financial education, the kind that teaches you how to be an owner, how to build assets that work for you, so you don't have to work for a paycheck.
And finally, it comes for our most common investments. Things like 401ks and mutual funds get labeled fake investments. And why? The argument is that you're just handing over total control of your money to someone else, you're paying a ton in hidden fees and taxes, and you have absolutely no real say in what happens with your own future.
So when you put all these ideas together about assets and money and schools, it all really points to one central divide. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you fundamentally are. Are you a producer or are you a consumer? And you can see this difference in how people use their most valuable resource of all, their time. You know, the consumer watches the game on TV to escape reality for a few hours. The producer, they want to be in the game. They're trying to own the team or be the star athlete or build the company that makes the video game everyone's playing.
This mindset shift is crystal clear when you look at debt. For a consumer, debt is a trap.
It's something you use to buy liabilities, a new TV, a fancy jacket. But for the producer, debt is one of the most powerful tools you can have. They use it to buy assets, like a rental property, where someone else's rent payments are paying off your debt for you, all while you're making a profit.
So, okay, after tearing apart our ideas about money and school and our spending habits, what's left? What does this philosophy say is the single most important asset you could ever acquire? The one thing that changes everything?
Well, the source claims it all comes down to the words you use inside your own head. Think about the phrase, "I can't afford it." That's a statement. It's a full stop. It shuts your brain down. But what if you just changed it to a question? How can I afford it? Suddenly, your brain is forced to wake up. It has to start working, getting creative and looking for solutions.
And that brings us to the final crucial point. The ultimate purchase you make isn't a stock, it's not a piece of real estate, it's not even a lump of gold. It's the one thing you buy into that shapes your entire financial reality. So what is it?
Your mindset. That's it. That's the whole game, according to this argument. The source claims that before you can ever buy a true asset, you first have to buy into a completely different way of thinking. And that is the one purchase this philosophy argues the rich make that truly sets them apart from everyone else.